Hi Tom, how you doing?
I'm good, man. How about yourself?
Very good. Thank you very much for taking your time and sitting down with us and talking a little bit about
No problem,
Exodus.
man. My pleasure.
So Tom, you're the drummer of Exodus, a band that has been around for over 30 years, I would like to say. Is that so?
I've been doing this off and on since I was 15, so
Wow.
it's a long time ago.
Yeah, it's
35 years, I guess.
and you're still doing it. That's great. That's great. This is a question which we like to ask basically all our artists who have been around for so long, especially. Where do you see the difference between being a musician today, 2015, as compared to 30 years ago in the 80s, pre-internet era?
Well, not just internet, but I think technology, like the whole recording process. It's pretty streamlined now. There's no like cutting of tape, and some people still do tape, but we do Pro Tools and we do drums in a proper studio, and then we move to a remote location, and everybody will work in a shift. I mean, it's different, but like the conception of the music is like still very organic and very much the same. It's like, you know, it's Gary comes up with a riff, or Lee, and it's two guys, drums and guitar, jamming in a room, organizing these riffs, and you know, we just build it. But yeah, I mean, internet, acquiring music's a lot different today, for sure. I mean, I stood in line to go buy Back in Black, you know, there was a line of people to buy albums. That time's over, but yeah. I'm happy to have been through that, because it was very rewarding, you know, to like take the album home and cut the plastic and like sniff the liner notes as it comes out of the, you know what I mean? It was special. And
actually you were listening to the music and reading the lyrics and everything, right?
Yeah.
I suppose that's at least what I used to do.
Yeah.
You split up in 1992 after the Force of Habit tour.
Yes.
That was, I read that it was especially, you had some behind the scenes issues, and also because of the changing music environment. That struck my...
But yeah, the musical climate totally changed, you know. I mean, once Nirvana hit and like grunge hit, even the hair metal bands, you know, Poison and Rat, like the whole bottom dropped out of what they were doing and what we were doing. But there was always a scene. I think, you know, bands like Pantera kind of carried the torch for metal for a period of time, you know, while the other bands were just kind of like disillusioned and like, what the fuck are we gonna do now? You know what I mean? After doing this for so long. But, you know, it's like Jack Black says, you can't kill the metal.
Exactly.
It just keeps on going.
Why do you think that metal just didn't, how can I say, well, it stayed afloat during the 90s?
Barely, yeah.
Why do you think it was grunge that was hyped that much as compared to metal? Because metal was still quite young.
Well, I mean, Lee hates grunge, and Lee also is our guitar player, but I love Alice in Chains. I think Soundgarden, Bad Motorfinger is a great album. Nirvana is probably the least of my favorite of the grunge bands. I think Alice in Chains wrote better music, but it was just something different that nobody had ever done before, out of left field. And, you know, I can't blame everybody for liking it.
Sure. Many blame it on the record industry, but so you can say it was just a whole package which wasn't
well, people got to take responsibility for themselves, I think, too. You know what I mean? Like, you know, you have to continue to like do your best and strive to make good music. You know what I mean? And you can't just blame one singular thing for your band, you know, not doing well anymore.
Sure.
I think a lot of our problems were self-induced, you know, and you know, that combined with the musical climate and our poor decision making at times, you know, caused the band to kind of dissolve. We never really break up. We just kind of like stop. Okay. You know,
so everyone just goes their own ways, and
I think, you know, there was a period like before we recorded Tempo where we were just a mess. We had a batch of songs, but we didn't know what to do with them. We were all like, instead of like musicians dabbling with drugs, we were drug addicts that were dabbling in music, you know? And that's not a good combination if you want to if you want to be true to what you do. And I think, you know, personally, I got sober because of the music. Like, I knew I had to go on tour, and I knew I had to perform, and I had listened to recordings when the band was a mess and high, and it was just awful. It kind of woke me up.
Okay.
You know, and even Paul dying didn't really wake us all up, but I think you have to be ready to make those choices. So,
Sure.
Yeah.
So nonetheless, Blood In, Blood Out came out 2014.
Yep. October.
Exactly, and it's the highest peaking album of Exodus. Is that correct? 38 in the Billboard 200.
That's awesome.
Is that correct?
I don't know.
Oh, okay, that's
I
at least
don't
what
read that shit.
Oh, you don't know. Interesting. However, apparently it's the highest peaking Exodus album, which means that after all these years and the journey, which you were saying, it all paid out in the end.
Yeah, man.
So why do you think that is?
I think it's first and foremost, it's a really good record, and we worked really hard on it. You know, the process remained the same, the organic, you know, guys in a room jamming. The re-edition of Zetro back into the band. And it was album number 10, and that's kind of like, I feel fortunate to be in a band that's even made 10 records. Like, not a lot of people get to say that. And we wanted number 10 to be special, so we did our best, you know?
Mm-hmm. Well, and especially what struck me most was, you know, nowadays with everyone, I mean, it's obvious that album sales actually are dropping. Mm-hmm. So many bands who were famous back in the days, and Exodus was famous back in the days, and stayed and came back, and now you're peaking. It's not many artists can say that they did that. So that
not many artists would stick to the format of the journey. You know, they would just pack it up or whatever. But
exactly.
We love what we do, and I mean the live shows are great. You're right, album sales are down, but I mean this type of music is best delivered live anyway, and I think people understand that, and people still support live music, and this is the best format to see metal played. You know, is to come live.
So for you, it's not a problem that album sales are down and you have to tour more?
Of course, it's a problem. I need to make money doing this. You know. If I plan to retire as a musician or have to go work another job somewhere. But, you know, we do our best, you know, playing these shows and selling merchandise or whatever, and we'll keep rolling as long as we can.
Sure. Well, Tom, thank you very, very much.
You're welcome, man.
It was very
it's
interesting.
Been a pleasure.
All the best. And we're looking forward to your show tonight.
Awesome.
Sure. Cool. Thanks.